So round 17 is done. We had a lovely score ourselves of 13.33. We're getting much closer to the end of the bye period. So for overall players and head-to-head, not a lot changes at this point. You did see last week a few guys bringing in Harry Grant. I ended up being one of them and kind of wish I didn't, obviously, with his score. And I'll show you my looping situation as well and how I wanted to play out. But guys will be targeting a lot of those Origin players anyway, given that majority of them will be missing just the 1 week to come in round 19. And if you are pretty well covered for that round 19 as an overall player, then there's every chance that you should be bringing in one of the best players and the guys you're going to want as a keeper in your side heading into the last bunch of weeks of this season. So there's 10 rounds to go, which is pretty crazy, but very exciting with where everyone's at and the ability for us to catch up on some of the top teams there. Big round for me at 13.33, moved me up 345 spots into 594, and we are on the charge now. Did end up using the 3 trades last week, and I will show you the squad now. Unfortunately, how it worked out was that, with Jeremy Marshall-King going down again, I did end up trading him to Harry Grant and using my boost to get a 48. So not very exciting on that front, but Harry is the best hooker in the game, and having him there is going to be great for the rest of the season. I'm very, very well set up for round 19. I did obviously end up losing Jeremy Marshall-King, who was going to be a number, but I would have had 17, and now I have 16, I believe, heading into that round there. Using 3 last week wasn't ideal. It does leave me with 12 trades and in a position that's not super exciting, but the biggest and most important thing for us right now is the 15.6 team value, at 15.6 million team value, is going to allow us there to get as many of the best players in the game as possible. What we'll look at now is our emergencies and the cheaper guys that we have available and what we can do in that position in terms of cheapies and where you would look to potentially upgrade. And the hooking position is one of them that I think that we're probably going to likely want a secondary backup hooker there that is actually going to be able to score okay there. Obviously, after Grant, round 19 doesn't matter for us given we need only 13 of the best 17 in our team. So that round 19 hooker, yes, it would be nice to have one, but if we don't, then that's fine. So really, you're just wanting Grant to be able to play out the rest of the year from then. And will he be able to do that? Yeah, sure. And if he has that injury though, and if you have a Sonny Luke or someone like that in that position, that's where you might want that secondary guy that can get you a 40 or 50. Guys like Reed Marnie are very cheap now, who can score you pretty solidly. Does Turpin get over his rib cartilage injury and he can kind of be a 60 or so minute hooker? Does he just stay in our sides? He's made some good cash for me now, but is he sticking aside like that? If you're looking at my front row forward there, I have 4 solid players. Obviously, Welch to 72 last week was great, and he was a scorer in my side, which was awesome. I'm glad I did pick him in that one. But I'm likely going to be downgrading one of these guys. Welch would be most likely to a cheapie, and Paseka there could be an upgrade to whatever position I want. I could go a 2RF by moving Tapani or Harris or these kind of guys to the front row forward and upgrade Paseka to a top gun there in the next in round 2021. That's likely when I'm going to be using my last boost. So that boost I use allows me to have 1 remaining and 12 trades here. I'm just going to not even bother looking at potential trade targets this week. Like, you could easily look at and go, oh, I should just go Mitch Moses to SJ because that's going to be another really good scorer this week. But I just can't do it with the amount of trades left. If I want to be able to dominate and get a great, great 25 or a great 17 each and every week from round 2021 onwards, and really make a push for high honors here in ranking. So front row forward position, likely a cash down there. I doubt we're going to cash down in the hooking position. And we're looking at the 2RF. We do have the 1 cash down already, so that may be the only one. But we'll have a look down below. And obviously the center wings there, I have got Paul Alamotti at 413. He, again, is likely going to go down to a basement type of player there. And Val Tafari, if he goes up to a sort of a 350, 400k type of number over the next bunch of weeks, then maybe he goes up to a top gun as well. But currently looking at the center wings, I have 5 guns, which is awesome. You're looking at the 5'8" position, I have 2 guns, halves 2 guns, fullback position 2 guns as well. So really, it would probably look at maybe an upgrade, 1 upgrade there in the the 2RF position. Dave Fafita is probably like the likely guy there. I do have Fanua Blake in the front row forwards. I brought him in last week, which was great for the 94. He is going to be my top gun there. Horsburgh is obviously averaging 62.5. That's solid. Harris is there at 64. Taps is there at 62.5. So I have a lot of 60s types of guys at the moment. We would like to get a 70 guy in there, whether it's Tino or Haas or something like that. Could work out. But the halves position, it's going to be Hines and Moses. Hines and Johnson, Hines and Cleary. However, that's going to work. 5/8 position, you'd obviously love to look at Munster and these types of guys. So dependent on how Ponga goes, the 47 last week wasn't as bad as it could have been. Obviously, getting that early try and the line break assist, but him against the Dogs this week is going to be a good one. So he'll be nice to own, I'd imagine there. And then maybe one other centre wing that could be upgraded here. But really, for me, this round here in round 18, I think holding trades is going to be great. Gutho, a clear gun at 893, which is crazy how well he scored. I grabbed him very early in the season. So keep the 12 trades left here. Likely to hold trades again in round 19. I think that's going to be helpful, and trading pretty heavy in round 20, considering I'll have a few guys out, and be needing to cover guys like Horsburgh and Tarpany there. I don't have any other Dragons players that are of note for that round that we are going to be missing. So that helps there on the round 20 front as well. And then the Bunnies players, it is Cody Walker. So currently I have 3 out for round 20. So I think I can probably trade pretty heavy round 20. I think round 21 will be the boost week, most likely. So I just think I'm going to have a little bit more flexibility for hold trades this week, and maybe 1 in round 19, or 2 at max. 0 would be likely, or a good one as well to be able to get to. Just so we can set up the team really well and push towards sort of, as I said, over the next few weeks. If you watch my last video, I said I was hoping that now that I just snuck into the top 1,000, that I'd be able to push for about the top 300 over the next 4 weeks, and at least the top 500 was at minimum the goal, and I thought my team was set up well to do that. And last week showed with an awesome score there. Top 3% score for the round. Netted me a big rank change, and I think I can get to that top 500, 400 over the next few weeks. Fairly comfortably. I think I've got the majority of the best players this week. Obviously, Moses would be a nice one to move to not have in that one right now, and have a Johnson or a something like that to be able to score super well in this week. But for the most part, I think I've got the majority of the good players available. Guys like Dave Fafita, a lot of people sold, so having him would be nice, or a Payne Haas or a Tino, as we said. But really, in every other position, pretty well covered. There's no Tom Trbojevic. Teddy's kind of fallen away a little bit. Reece Walsh is gone. I think I've got most of the guys, which is cool. And I think it's something that you guys need to look at now is setting up your sides well for the run home with the best guns available, and keeping some trades left. If you are sitting around that 10 to 15 mark as well, and you're a head-to-head player, you want to be holding off in this next couple of weeks and really building for your finals, whether it be round 23 or round 22, or if you've changed it to the last 4 rounds in round 24 there. But especially if a bunch of these players have buys coming up, you want to be looking at that for sure. But let's just have a quick look at how my week ended up. I did loop Mitch Moses, and it was a weird game, actually. It was how that worked out. So he got a great score as vice. I was like, cool, I don't have to captain Cody anymore. But because I traded in Harry Grant in the end, that ended up with me having 18 players. So, obviously missing out on 1. And in that same game, I traded in Val Tafade, and he ended up with a 56. I was like, oh, cool. I'm happy with that as my auto emergency. But by that point, because I traded Jerry Marshall-King, it's that same Dolphins game, I wasn't able to reverse that trade, and the other guys have already played in Adafin Blake, and then obviously Tafade. So, stopped me from actually reversing that, which would have mean I just completely got the 56 from Val as my auto emergency. But in the end, I had the option between Welchie as my auto emergency or Turpin. And I just thought that Welchie could, he seems to have these random sort of 60, 70 games here and there. And I thought Terps was just going to be more the tackle bot guy, and he ended up going off a little bit early and picking up a 40 odd. So I ended up using Terps as I ended up leaving him out. He became my auto emergency at 43. So I left 13 points on the table. Could have been a lot more though if I had Welch as the auto emergency, because I would have got the 56 instead of the 72 there. So 16 point swing on that one. Overall, didn't have really any real bad scores. So we had Johnson, the 45, and Walker. That was a pretty tough one, the Bunnies game for me, to be honest there. But 43 for Terps, the auto emergency. A lot of 50s and 60s, but that one game I had there, 3 tons in it. My vice captain with Moses, Gutho, Hopgood. We had a Jermaine Asako at 66 in that same game. Went on from there. Just a lot of 30s, 40, a lot of 40s, 50s, and 70 for a couple of them. Taps with 71. Horser and Manu were good there as well. Garrick to 62. Paseka, I was hoping to get sort of a couple of 60s from him, and we've got 2 mid-50 scores. So that's fine, but yeah, not super amazing there. Adam Fanua-Blake, a great trade-in. It was him or Chance Single-Klukstar, and end up going for Adam and getting Val as the cheap guy in that centre wing, considering I didn't probably need another centre wing, although that score would have been great for Chance. Yeah, I've got 5 guns in that position right now. All of them playing this week, and majority of them playing next week as well, which is very, very cool. But I've got Alex Johnson, I forgot to say, as well as my other South player that's going to miss round 20. And then Harry Grant with his 48 end up scoring lower than my Auto Emergency with Toku Harris 56. So yeah, let me know where you guys are at with trades as well, and if you do feel like you would like any help on guys to potentially bring in, then get around that. That would be cool. But thanks for joining me for a nice strategy session. Just jump in and look at your team and what you're trying to get to in terms of the amount of players. And obviously there's going to be suspensions, there'll be injuries and stuff like that to cover the rest of it. That's why I think 12 in the 10 rounds remaining is super important. If I don't trade this week, that's 12 in 9 weeks. If I hold off again or just use 11 or 12 in 8 weeks remaining, which is really manageable. If I was to boost in round 21, that puts me pretty short straight away, but hopefully in a great position with 1 cash down and potentially 2 gun upgrades from mid-rangers. I think the team's in good stead to go on and be really dominant and have my first, let's say, proper season of Supercoach where I haven't stopped halfway or whatever, to end up in a really, really good spot. And there's definitely been a few mistakes along the way, but for the most part, very calculated in the decisions made, and we're in a good spot, and hopefully can continue going on from there. I wish you guys the best of luck heading into round 18, and we will catch you in the next update. Hopefully we're in the top 500. See you guys.